part 1 of this video series, I'll show you how to set up MAMP for Drupal web development. I chose MAMP because it works out of the box for Drupal 8 and it's quick to install and easy to use. If you're working with a fresh install of macOS or have never used it for programming, the first thing to do is install the command line tools. Open up your terminal, say Xcode, select install, hit enter, install. The installation is straightforward and gives you more advanced tools for working with a terminal. Once it's done, the next thing to do is install Homebrew. It usually makes my life a lot easier. If you're not familiar with it, it's a software package manager for macOS. Go to your browser, navigate to brew.sh, copy the install command, return to your terminal, paste the command, hit enter, and once it's done, you can run brew doctor. It checks if there's any updates that need to be done. And in this case, the system is ready to brew. The next thing I'll do is install brew cask. To install, type brew, install brew cask. And cask is simply Homebrew's way of using the command line to manage all sorts of software. For example, I can use it to perform a quick search for MAMP, and it shows that it is supported and can be installed. So to install MAMP, brew cask, install MAMP. You can see how quick and convenient this method is. It allows searching, installation, updating, and removal of software you would have to otherwise download, unpack, and install the longer traditional way. And if certain tasks become repetitive, you can create command line scripts you run once and allow the computer to do all the work for you. So if generally you're into programming, you definitely like Homebrew. While we wait for MAMP to install, it's important to note that Apache can only have one instance running at a time. Your Mac comes with Apache installed and turned off by default. I'll demonstrate my point once MAMP is done installing. Obviously, you don't have to do this. That's done. So in terminal, to turn on Apache, I run sudo apache ctl start. If I navigate to localhost in my browser, we should see the familiar It Works page. So if your machine's Apache is on, make sure to turn it off before starting MAMP. To turn it off, run sudo apache ctl stop, and that should do it. Going back to localhost, we see that the It Works is still there. So make sure your browser's history is cleared to reflect the changes we just made in the terminal. And there you go. So launch MAMP and click on Start Servers. A welcoming page appears with some very useful information. The MySQL login credentials. There's phpMyAdmin, where you can create databases, and the PHP info, where you can see the configuration of your PHP. If you go to my website, you get the file to where your Apache document root points to. You can change this. For example, if you go back to web server, you see it points to htdocs. So here I'll make a directory www in my home folder. Go back to web server, point it to www, click select, and OK. The servers start again. If we go to a website, it should be at my new folder. To see those changes, I'll create a index.php file within the www folder. I'll echo hello into index and go back, refresh, and there it is, hello. Now you may be thinking, what about virtual hosts? In the real world, we work on multiple projects and it helps to have host names for each project. Virtual hosts allow us to organize multiple local projects within the server's web root. If you want to pay a price, there's MAMP Pro that allows you to create as many as you like, or if you want a free alternative, and with a little bit of work, you can do it yourself by editing some Apache code. I'm running on a fresh install of Capitan. So what that means is I have no text editor to make my life easier. So just bear with me while I quickly install Sublime Text. With brew cask, it's a snap. Look at it go. That's done. So to enable virtual hosts, the first thing we need to do is go to Applications, MAMP, conf Apache, and look for that file, httpd.conf. Okay, there it is. So Sublime, open the file, go down to line 575, uncomment the include, and then we go to the extra directory, which keeps the conf file. Open it with Sublime. And a quick note, I haven't showed this, but I've already created a project 1 folder in the document root within www. So what we basically need here is to define the document root, remove everything else, and the server name of our virtual host. Up here, I'm also going to define the server name localhost. There it is. With the document root www. This is useful because when you type localhost in the browser, it will list all your project directories. Okay, so the last thing we need to do is configure our hosts file, which resides in private etc hosts. This file can override or map host names to IP addresses. We want to map our project1.dev host name to our local host, which is 127.0.0.1. We need to enter our admin password to take effect. Restart MAMP. Go to the browser, type in project1.dev, and notice it's not working. It's because we need to change the Apache port to 80. Our localhost is configured to listen to port 80, and MAMP by default is on port 8888. So once you configure Apache from the map control panel, then everything should work fine. Project1.dev, there it is. So now we're ready to power up Drupal and start the fun. See you next video. Thanks for watching.